Hey healers. Hey, welcome. Welcome to the chat. Welcome back to my channel. This is our Goddess Talks series, and today we are talking about jealousy, evil eye, and the mother wound. I specialize in this, you guys. I specialize in healing from the evil eye, preventing evil eye. I'm Arab, so everybody that's Arab knows about the evil eye. We see it as a real thing that we continuously guard against and protect ourselves against. That's why you see so many of the symbols like that up there. You can see it. Keep it right there just in case. Okay. So, welcome to the chat. Drop your city, drop your zodiac sign. Let us know you're here. Jealousy, evil eye, and the mother wound. We're connecting these together. So how does the jealousy and the evil eye connect with the mother wound? I think most of us we don't really need to like ask that question because we already know. For a lot of people, the first experience of jealousy comes from one of their parents, the mother or the father. A lot of immature parents, when they have children, they can't handle not getting all the attention. And that's where the jealousy starts. It could even start earlier than that. It could have started when the child was still in the womb and things are changing and they're getting blamed on the child. There's a lot of things that I talk about on this channel, and they're not going to apply to everybody. Like, everybody's not going to have these problems, but I work specifically on breaking generational curses for people from targeted bloodlines, sacred bloodlines that have been targeted, that have been stalked throughout time to gain access to their secrets, to their gifts, and to their medicine that is inside the body, in the DNA. So for a lot of us, we're basically waking up from a 400-year-long spell, and it's not even what people even think it is. Like, it's so much bigger than what people really think that it is, and it's so much older than what people really think it is. Because I think for us as humans, like a lot of humans, we only really have the capacity to conceive of a short distance of time. Most humans can't conceive of the vastness of time and space. So, especially not when our minds have been repeatedly colonized throughout K through 12 education, media manipulation, and otherwise, going to college, becoming a professional person, or entering the workforce and having to maintain a professional facade. And one of the things that entails is like losing your imagination or leaving your imagination behind, so that things have to be factual, they have to be like correct, and there's not enough space to explore. So what that creates in the individual is like a lot of rigidity, and then a lot of this rigidity like traces back to an attempt to please the mother, an attempt to please others, an attempt to receive love, which the love that should be given freely and unconditionally, but it actually has to be earned. And what's crazy is that even as the mother, or the father, or other family members, family figures in this person's life, they require this person to be like an achiever, but at the same time they're jealous of this person's achievements and their accomplishments. So what does this come from? Like, we want to kind of trace it back. What I've been looking at in my work, and for those of you guys that don't know me, my name is Amira Al-Baladi, also known as Sarada Muladar, the root chakra goddess. I'm the writer of the Sacred Stripper essay in Towards Bodily Autonomy, Decolonizing Sex Work and Drug Use. So if you really want to know all about me and how I got to this place in my career that I'm at now, read that essay. It'll tell you all about how I created the Heaven on Earth community, a holistic healers community, spiritual supportive community for sex workers and survivors. We go into healing the mother wound a lot because it affects us in our daily lives, because if you're somebody that's like been in adult entertainment, if you're somebody that's been sex trafficked, if you're somebody that's like super hot that people like want to pay to see you naked, or pay to have sex with you, if you're coming out of even nonprofits or anywhere where your energy is exploited for cheap, whether that's like community arts, nonprofits, labor, the labor force, you have a lot of energy and you're nurturing and you benefit others by being around them in a way that they can't really quantify. You might feel like you're always getting drained in these situations. So what's happening is a mother wound issue at play. Usually that mother wound will create a leak for the person. The energy is leaking because the person is seeking love that they can only receive through a mother's love. And if it's not freely given by the mother or by others who can mother this person, then they'll seek it out. People are kept in a childlike state because it benefits those who are like those who care for them. We lost our rituals. We had these different rituals to take us from different phases of life and into adulthood. We lost our rituals. We don't have them anymore. Now people seek them out through holistic healers and through community members, people that they know. So where we before we would have like in our communities had priestesses and priests that held space for certain things, we don't have that now. So we create it, but we actually have it now because it's been created, and there's so many people that have come to this acknowledgement of like, yes, I am a priestess. I am here to create community and guide and lead others and create and hold space for others, and finding out how to do that exactly. Because if you've grown up with toxic mothering and your mother grew up with toxic mothering and your grandma was a narcissist, your mama was a narcissist, what you think you're gonna be, baby girl? You're gonna be a narcissist too. But there's so much stigma around that label that for most women you can't take that label on. You have to go the other way and become a victim or an empath or somebody that takes on things that aren't yours to hold, because it's too scary to like set the boundaries and be a bitch and be a bad person and somebody that people don't like because you're not as accommodating and open to taking on their shit as they want you to be. So what happens is like what's happening a lot in our generation is that people have got to a breaking point with their previous generation where it's like, actually, I'm not doing this. I don't know why you thought it was okay, but it's not okay with me. So as a result, there's a lot of people that have become estranged from their parents. We didn't really have the option to be estranged from our parents in previous generations as much in the recent previous generations, because obviously estrangement from your parents, like throughout all of time, that's how people created their own lives. They left their parents, they left the home. But it just really depends on what type of society you came from and what type of lifestyle you had as to whether or not you would stay close by or leave, or become estranged. And like, I don't really know, like, honestly, I think now we have so much communication around it, so much communication around toxic parenting and inner child healing. So we have the option to leave more easily. We have the option to be able to take care of ourselves more easily. And then we have the option to heal more easily. Sorry, you guys. Welcome to the chat. Drop your city, drop your zodiac sign. Let me know you're here. Let's chat. We're talking about jealousy, evil eye, and the mother wound. The mother is the one whose evil eye hurts the most because she's the one that you want to impress the most. And when you can't impress her, that hurts, especially when like it's like, say there was a way that you used to be able to impress her, but now you can't impress her that same way. or like say like she was impressed by you until you made a certain change and now she's not. But the hardest part though is like the origin point of the wound, which is childhood, literally babyhood, when you didn't really have any ability to do or say or be anything to impress. And that was when unconditional love was needed, and maybe possibly unconditional love was not granted. But we want to dig in a little deeper to the roots of why. Because our mothers can't give us that which they don't have. And one of the big reasons why people get jealous is because they see somebody else with something and they think that they can't have that. It activates a need and a desire in someone else. When you see someone with something that you want, but you thought that it wasn't possible for you, or you gave up your opportunity to have it, you're going to be mad. And then what happens is that for a lot of our mothers, they had to repress their anger. They never were allowed a space to express it in childhood or any time ever. The only safe place for them to take their anger out is on their daughters, is on their children. So at that point, it's like, a no-brainer that they would do that. A no-brainer that they would do that. Of course, they're going to take it out on you. Who else can they take it out on? Hey, y'all. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the chat. So we're talking about jealousy, evil eye, and the mother wound. Let's chat. So let's get into it. Yeah, and the moon is in Cancer right now. It's the perfect time to have this conversation. Cancer is the sign that rules the mother. And for cancers, a lot of cancers have that pain point of having some type of emotional distance or coldness between them and their mother. For example, my grandmother is an Aquarius. My mother is a Cancer. Aquarius people are known to be very distant, detached, cold, not lovey-dovey. They love all of humanity, but as far as the people close to them, they're kind of like, ew, no, give me my space. They need a lot of space. Cancers, they don't like space. Like, tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. I've never known a Cancer to want any type of space from their partner or from their loved ones at all. Yeah, it is very challenging. It is very, very challenging to deal with the energy of Cancer in a mother, because the mother is already like, so because Cancer represents the mother and it's ruled by the moon. So the mother is already like known to be kind of like a clinging force that wants to like subsume everything into her. And for a Cancer, even more so, because they want to grab you with those claws and pull you inside their shell and never let you go. And you're not going nowhere. And you part of them now, because the Cancer's body is just basically an amorphous blob inside of their shell. So you in there with them. She said, space? Are you serious? Space between me and my partner? No. Yeah. My mother is a Cancer. And we are not close at all. My sister is a Cancer. No, she doesn't like space. No. Hell no. Hell no. If a Cancer needs you to be up under them 24/7, and if you're not, they're gonna be really mad. Really mad. But then they have coping ways of coping. We all have our ways of coping, right? We have like our ways that we are naturally, but then we have our ways of coping too. So that could look like detachment and like emotional distance, when the person really wants closeness, but they don't really know how to achieve it. We're dealing with a really strong childlike energy in a lot of other people right now. And I've been really reflecting on this, because I'm like, what is this energy? Because I'm dealing with it in other people, and I know that I've dealt with it within myself before. And I know that the experience of this childlike energy that I'm having with other people bringing it to me, I've given that energy to others outside of myself in the past and brought them this childlike energy. And then it's like, what do you do with that? So, like, what do you do with a adult child? You love them. You just love them. You understand? Excuse me, you guys. I'm getting over something. But you just love them. You just understand they're a child. We all have a little child inside of us. And a lot of us have mothers that were emotionally distant, that were cold, that were not there because of their own issues with themselves. And us as daughters, we're the ones that are going to trigger that the most because we're their reflection. We're their closest reflection. Not only are we reflecting to them themselves, but we're reflecting to them their partner or their ex-partner at the same time. So they're having to face all their shits and no, they're not going to want to do it. So they're going to come up with every trick in the book in order to avoid doing it. They're going to be sneaky. They're going to try to blame you. Let me know, you guys. Let me know what your experience is. Don't let me be alone in this. I really gotta know. Like, you can't let them. You can't, even if it's your mom, she's still being a child. Even if it's your grandma, she's still being a child. We're now getting to this phase of womanhood where we're becoming the parents in our families. Like, we're becoming the ones that are in that role in our families. We're becoming more mature than everybody else. And some of you guys have been doing this, some of you guys have already been there. Some of you guys are not there yet, but you will be, because some of you guys are still the child in your family. But this is for when you become that adult. It's just like a tarot reading on YouTube. Like, everything's not going to resonate. Take what resonates for you, leave what doesn't, but take the message, whether it's for you, whether it's for someone else, whether it's for you in the past, whether it's for you in the future. Okay? I didn't see that childlike nature in my mom till I became an adult. So that's interesting. So if you want to say more about that, I'm curious, like, do you think that it was that you just didn't see it because you weren't older, or do you think that she didn't display it until you were older? Yes, I'm interested to know. So let's keep the conversation going. It really helps to hear from you guys. Like, this is the point of the live stream. I don't just come on here just to talk. For the live streams, I come on here to, like, interact with you guys also. So yes, emancipating from my mom is one of the hardest things I've had to do. It's hard and weird too, because at the same time we actually get along so well. Yeah, it's so weird. I am my mom's daughter. I am my mother's daughter completely. I'm so much like her, and she is so childlike, and she's like, she's so fun. She's so happy. Like, she's such a great person. She's so beautiful. She's so sweet. Like, she cares so much. She has so much love to give. I'm gonna cry. But on her dark side is fucking ugly. And I can't, if you don't let me love your dark side, then I don't want to fuck with you at all. Like, I need to love mom, I need to love your dark side, and I need you to love my dark side too. Like, I'm such a brat. It is so freaking funny. I have the privilege of being a half white Ameriki Ajnabiya, and I can actually have the privilege to say I don't fuck with you, family. Family, I don't fuck with you. I actually have the privilege. I have my own crib. I'm not financially dependent on them. I have not been in a long time. So I get to make these certain choices where, like, my cousins, other people in my family, like, Might have, some of them have different situations with their family, so they don't feel the need to go towards estrangement. Others would if they could, but they can't. But we just all deserve to be seen in our family and not have to be constantly diminished. And for me, I chose myself over my family. I chose my life over my family because I felt that I couldn't win with them because they would just be jealous and mad and try to stop me. And I don't know what it feels like to have family support. I don't, because I've never been supported for the real me. I've only been supported for what would make them look good. So I have no clue what it even feels like to be supported for who I am until like basically now when I'm actually being myself. Because I didn't know that I had all these layers on layers on layers built up to protect me from the jealousy, to protect me from the evil eye, to protect me from rejection, to protect me from not being liked. We'll sometimes do crazy things to protect ourselves, and it doesn't make any sense. Like that's why I always have my clients do fear inventories to like just go right now, write down 10 things that scare you. Like what am I afraid of right now? I'm afraid of rejection. I'm afraid of looking ugly. I'm afraid of being tricked. I'm afraid of like fucking evil eye. People sending evil eye to me so strongly that it would actually fucking hit me. The better things are going for you, the more your manifestations are hitting and the more blessings you get, the more protection you need, the more energy clearing you need, and that you need it most for the people closest to you. So this is the thing, is that like I would never be able to heal and like differentiate myself if I'm all up under them and if I'm seeking their approval. I needed to go cross country. I needed to go into my own space. I needed to cut off communication. I needed to retreat so that I could have what I need to build myself up. Because if I'm still entangled and enmeshed in these energy drains that are not letting me be seen because they don't want me to be seen, then I'm not going to be able to do what I need to do. And it's going to be too hard for me to clear that energy all up close. Once I clear the energy, once I clear the cords, once I stabilize my foundation, I stabilize my root chakra, I feel solid within myself. My aura is heavy and strong. I can go back in any environment when I know I got my grounding cord solid. I can release whatever I'm taking in. I can release whatever's coming up. I know I can go into any environment. I can feel secure because I've been able to prepare. But there was no preparing when I was born into it. And my parents were extremely jealous of me from the very beginning, from literally the day I was born. The day I was born, my entire family was acting a fool. And it was like nobody was really that happy. Because it just meant so much different things to them. Like my grandma, she became a grandma. Now she feels old. My mom, like she didn't have enough support, and now she has even more responsibilities. There's all these people treating her like a doormat, and then I come and they treat me like a princess while still treating her like a doormat. My dad, he's used to getting all the attention from my mom, and now he's getting no attention because she has a new baby and he's acting a fool. And everybody was jealous. Everybody was jealous. The only person that wasn't jealous of me was my grandpa. I wouldn't be me if I didn't burst into tears at a moment's notice, you guys. So yeah, like, can anybody relate? What do you guys feel? And then this is the thing too, when we're talking about jealousy, people act so psycho about jealousy. Like, I'm not jealous. What do I have to be jealous of? Like, calm down. It's just a fucking emotion. Jesus Christ. Like, it's just a fucking emotion. Everybody gets jealous all the time. And the best thing is for you to be able to say, I'm jealous. Like you see your homegirl and like her man just got her like a dope present. Oh my god, I'm so jealous. You're so lucky. Like, can you even say it out loud? Because a lot of times there's so much shame And stigma is like, I don't want to be seen as that jealous bitch that's like just like watching what other people have. And, you know, I don't want people to know that I don't like that I'm jealous or that I feel this way. Like, who gives a fuck? Everybody gets jealous all the time. Especially within families, sisters, children, like people get jealous of other people that they love. And it doesn't mean that they don't want that person that they love to have anything, but they don't see a world in which that person can have that and they can have what they want to. And a lot of times people will get jealous of people having things that they don't even want. Like, oh, are you jealous of me? I didn't know I didn't know that my life was your dream. I thought it was my dream. I thought you had a different dream. Was I wrong? What is your dream? Like, sometimes we learn what we want from what other people have that we want, and we didn't even know to want it before we saw them with it. Sometimes we didn't even think it was possible for us until we saw someone else have it, especially if it's like a bitch, you know. And I think for a lot of our mothers, it was like that too. It's like they didn't even know what was possible to even want or be until they saw us being it. And then they got jealous. And when they don't have enough outlets to express themselves and to receive what they want, then they're going to try to like manage us, micromanage us, take from us, control us. But the core of this issue is that it's demonic possession. Y'all knew I was going to take it there, right? I hope everybody knew I was going to take it there. The core of the issue is demonic possession. We'll touch on that more later. Take my course, Root Lock, if you want to know more. Okay, so back to the question I asked earlier about she didn't display it until I was older. She's talking about her mother displaying childlike traits. She didn't display it until I was older. When I was younger, she was very bossy and dominant because I was dependent on her. Once I became independent, I don't think she could handle it. Especially when I decided to take on a completely different life than what she expected. Yeah. Because that emotional enmeshment, a lot of our mothers cannot see us as individuals. They only can see us as parts of themselves. So if we're not doing what they think we should do, then it's personally upsetting to them and it creates a lot of instability within them. Hey, love. Welcome to the chats. Everybody, make sure you hit that like button. Thanks, you guys. Thanks for the likes help my channel the most. So when you guys hit the like button, that's the best thing. When you comment, that's really great for my channel. I love to get the engagement going. And yes, you guys, I prefer instead of like privately messaging me or texting me or contacting me privately about a video, comment on the video. Be part of the conversation. Be part of the group. Don't just come on secretly to me. Because it helps my engagement and it helps the whole community because there's something that you have to express that like can beneficially be received by other people too. My cousin sent me an evil eye so strong last summer it followed and hunted me for a whole year until I recently learned why she was so envious at that wedding where I was shining and being confident. While her husband was having an affair and she got married to him young, sacrificed a lot for him. That sucks, man. Fuck that. Then I gotta kick this person out because they're like spamming the feed report. Spam. Okay. And remove. Thank you. All right. I thought I removed. Can I? Oh, I want to like actually remove the person. Oh, okay, bye. So weird. Like, why are you here? But he didn't leave. How do I remove this person? Oh, I can hide them? Okay. Put user in timeout. All right, good. He said, I'm sorry. You're in timeout, Peter. Go in the corner. Bad boy. So, and you didn't even hit that like button either, did you, Peter? Not okay. Eventually, I'm gonna ask some of you guys to be moderators for my channel for stuff like this. All right, you guys. Yeah. That evil eye. What do you guys think about evil eye? Let's chat. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about evil eye. Let's ask some questions. Sorry, you guys. I didn't want to do that, but I had to. All right, I'm back. So, Peter's gone. Good. Okay, so let's chat, you guys. Let's talk. Let's ask some questions. What is evil eye? Where does it come from? How do you become a match for it? Because everybody don't deal with evil eye, right? Why do we like? What's the deal? Let's ask some more questions. How is evil eye formed, and how does it follow you? Let's ask this question also. What's with women being mad, jealous, and hateful towards other women instead of holding accountable the person that's actually hurting them? She said I was a match at that time, 100 for evil eye. Evil eye is a curse. It's already existing within you. It's a curse that is generational. So if you experience it, it's because that means that it's in your generations. It's in your bloodline already. It's already there. It's so crazy, you guys, because I want to show you something. The heck, where is it? I'm looking for a picture. Okay, I found it. Here it is, you guys. So it's really crazy because I've been experimenting and researching with the Kabbalah a little. And one of the things with me is that I've been just purely channeling my work, like my spiritual work. I've been purely channeling it. Like I haven't been like studying with I have one teacher that I've been studying with since last year, but as far as like reading books or like really like diving into other type of studies, I haven't been doing that because I wanted to specifically focus on what I could discover and what I could channel from myself using my heaven on earth Reiki system, which activates your ancestral energy healing tools and techniques and the medicine that's already in your DNA. So then I started to channel and to come into awareness of the tree of life, the Kabbalah, and how the energy the centers work and how the energy channels move through the body. I started to become aware of how this is used as a tool, as a system of spiritual slavery. And they come in through here. They come in through here. This is the right brain hemisphere, the feminine hemisphere, the creative hemisphere. And they come in like a knife. And it was so crazy when I seen this drawing because in my energy work, I've pulled so many swords, like energetic swords out of my head. So to see this, so the nature of our reality is that like there are many magicians present and practicing even if they don't know it. Even if they don't know it. So they're gonna send you some shit that could stick. It could actually stick. I know that everybody wants to be all love and light and demons aren't real and it's only what you give power to that has power over you. Wow, that would be nice. That would be really nice if that was true. People that think that are already cursed, but they're living in that curse. So they're good with it and they're good there. And there is a lot that you can do and that you can manifest within a cursed existence. But when you actually start trying to break the curses and break free from them, you'll come up with a lot of opposition. You'll come against opposition. And I know that this isn't a sexy marketing tactic to tell you, like, oh, it's going to be hard. You're going to have to work at it. It's going to potentially destabilize your entire reality. Like, oh, okay. Yikes. I don't want to do that. But that's why this this isn't for everybody. The people that come to spiritual healing, usually they come to spiritual healing because nothing else worked and they're at the end. They're at their wits end. So that's when you need this. And that's when you can start to see, like, oh my God, I've been being abused. I've been being manipulated spiritually. And my own parents, my own mother molded me to take the abuse and to be quiet because that's what she did. She took the abuse and she was quiet, but she hurt me in her process of dealing with it because she didn't have the power and the agency to stand up to what was hurting her. She hurt me instead. So I have the choice. What do I do now? What am I going to do? Am I going to stand up to what's hurting me or am I going to hurt somebody else? Because when it comes to evil eye, everybody wants to focus on other people sending the evil eye to them. But what about you? What about you? What about you sending the evil eye? What are you going to do to stop that? Do you even have any energetic techniques in place to do that? Or are you just freely giving out evil eye to everybody that you hate or that you can't stand or that you're jealous of, or the people that you love that you're jealous of? So this is why in my Reiki Mother course, which is in Root Lock, I have a technique, and it's based on the Kabbalah, and I didn't even know about the fucking Kabbalah to that extent when I created and channeled this. So one of the unique things about my system is that it allows you to do this. You don't have to study. You'll just know. But then when you want to study, you can, and it'll take you higher. And that's the place that I'm at now, where I'm actually getting ready to study ritual, ceremony, magic, correspondences, calling on the different energies, utilizing them. And the universe is very happy with me about this, and I'm happy too. I'm ready. Imagine, like, you as a natural witch, a natural priestess, you do so much. Imagine what you can really do when you take in the creative techniques that non-magic having ass people have been using to dominate our entire reality and gatekeeping them from us. But I created a system in which there is no gate. You can go straight to your DNA and you can find out, and no one can hide this stuff from you. And it's put me on a level where I'm really aware of a lot of things that a lot of people aren't aware of. They're in a different reality. They're in a different world because they haven't been able to open up inside of themselves. And like, yeah, I mean, a lot of people have been able to open up inside themselves, and that's great. It's just like, I don't know how to express how freaking dope this is without people just being like, she's full of shit. Like, but I don't know. It's just awesome. Like, it's just freaking awesome. Like, what it's done for me in my life is awesome. I was fucking homeless when I met some of y'all, and like struggling to make my spiritual business. That's not normal. You should not be broke and destitute and homeless and be spiritually gifted and abundant. It's not normal. But the reason why is because of these curses. And the evil eye curse is a strong one, because guess who's jealous of you? Beings that don't have a body, beings that don't have a hot body like you, beings that don't have your bloodline, that don't have your lineage, that don't have your natural gifts, beings that don't have the chemical composition that you have physically to create with, beings that can't experience orgasm. There's unlimited interdimensional life forms as well as humans that have reasons to be jealous of you that they use to cast evil eye out at you. And people think, oh, it's just as simple as a bitch is jealous of me. No, it's as complex as multinational status quo, the global caste system that impoverishes people and wounds people and sickens people and weakens people to create a slave class and a consumer class. And when you try to go from that consumer class to the creator class, you better be ready to fight for it. Because I don't know if you guys have ever heard of anybody having an easy time making that transition. You'll always hear the story over and over of how hard it actually was and how many obstacles there were. So you don't give up. That's the way that you make it. That's the way that you win. And that's the way that you beat these curses and that you beat these demons that want to own you. They turn it around on them because you actually run this. You're the one with the body. You're the important one here. You're the important person here. And that's why the evil eye. That's why the jealousy. That's why you had to be so wounded from a young age to make you a warrior. And with that, you can do anything. Yes, in my mom's family, we use salt as a ritual to clean evil eye. When there's evil eye, the salt gets into balls when there isn't nothing, and we use an egg as well. Oh, I want to hear more about that. Can you tell us more about that? You could share it in the app if you want. I would love to learn about that technique more. And I think it's so cool because that's another thing too, is like people always want to talk about cultural appropriation and the spiritual healing arts, but they literally don't know what other people's cultural and spiritual practices are. And many of them are similar and the same all over the world. So I'm taking an egg and cleansing myself and I'm doing a limpia. Nobody's ever said this to me, but what if somebody was like, that's cultural appropriation? But they don't know, and I didn't even know that this could potentially be coming from my culture as well, because a lot of these things have been hidden from us. So if you if these type of things, they're frowned upon in Islam, they're frowned upon in organized religion. Like they don't let you do these things openly. And this is another thing that has to do with the mother wound, is that like a lot of the mother wound of suppressing us and diminishing us comes from attempting to keep us safe. For example, not teaching us our sacred spiritual practices and healing practices because of wanting to keep us safe, of not wanting us to be different or to stand out. But meanwhile, we're also missing out on a practice that we need to cleanse ourselves and to feel whole and to feel better after something bad has happened. So we're missing our recovery, like our techniques of recovery, in an attempt to stay safe in a colonial settler nation state. My whole life, my mom, aunties, or grandma would do the salt ritual to me. They always said our family is drowned to receive it. You know, when you're really beautiful, then you're gonna attract evil eye because they're gonna be bad. And that's another thing. That's one reason why you have a beauty mark. Like if you have like a beauty mark somewhere on your face, that's one of the purposes. And that's one of the reasons why people draw fake beauty marks on their face too, is because the beauty mark is to draw the evil eye. So for example, like me, like I don't think you guys can see right now because it's too dark, but I always had this beauty mark on my cheek. And then after I started getting, like after my Instagram following went way up, in the tens of thousands, then I got another one next to it. It's like just in case you need more evil eye protection. And it's like it's so cute to me. It's also funny because I used to always try to get rid of it. I used to take a needle and pick it out and like pick out the pigment, but then it would always come back. And now I have another one. That's probably why. That's also probably why. Yes, so on point. For real, for real. I used to put a lot on myself to just act differently. But I'm experiencing shit in real time that forces me to admit that there's more going on than meets the eye. Yeah, because people will say things like, you're not fighting demons, that's just the consequences of your own actions. They're the same thing. these curses affect your behavior. They affect how you show up. They affect how you're seen by others, how you're perceived by others. They affect how you represent yourself to others. They affect the things you say. They affect the things you do. They affect your appearance. Like, they affect everything in your life. So for someone to try to separate that, that's just the consequences of your own actions. Those actions were created through a process of like deliberately attempting to harm you in many different ways. And by coping, you cope and you cope and you cope, and then it makes you a fucking psycho. Because what happens in when you're suffering from an evil eye curse and this type of generational curses, they push away people that are good for you, and they only let people that are bad for you, that want to hurt you and take from you, come close to you. But they'll do this through your own actions. Like, they'll turn your head and you'll think this person might be really good for you, but the demonic energy, the curse will turn your head. The evil eye will turn your head and be like, oh, that person's out to get you. They don't mean you no good. They like, it'll start talking to you and start telling you all this bad stuff about that person, which will distance you. Or they'll talk to that person about you and distance you. Or they'll put on a mask over you, so to where you'll see that person and you'll smile at the person, and the person sees the person, you doing this, and the person sees you doing this. Like, so they're cloaking you. The curse is cloaking you. The demon is cloaking you. The curses are created by entities, whether it's a demon or another type of life form, interdimensional life forms. People that can see through the veil can actually see the other interdimensional life forms. And if you can't do that, you should not be practicing Reiki or really any type of holistic healing modality, including massage or even being an esthetician, even being a makeup artist. Like, you have to know and be aware of these energies so that when you're around them, you can protect yourself and you can know what you're dealing with. I wouldn't personally like work in a field with where I'm interacting with other people or connecting with other people closely without knowing how to read these things. And sometimes our ability to read and our capacity to read these things is limited by these curses, is limited by our early childhood experiences, by any insecurities or self-esteem issues that we may have. So we're going to project and see the situation differently than what it actually is. That's the importance of communication and community, and like letting yourself have clarity, letting yourself come to clarity, whatever you need to do that. For me, the way that I need to come to clarity is to have conversations and to express them. And I need to be able to talk about them with people that aren't going to try to act like I'm the crazy one. Yeah, I used to put a lot on myself to just act differently. Like, why am I like this? Why can't I be different? Why am I like this? Why can't I be different? But when you slow down and you start to watch yourself without any judgment, you start to see why you're like this, why it's not different. But the first thing you have to do is just watch yourself. Just slow down and watch yourself. Don't change anything, because you're going to start to observe your behavior and you're going to start to see how you act in real time and what triggers you. And so once you start doing that, you have the space to where now you can see that, oh, I just got triggered and I switched. Like, I'm different. I changed into a different personality because I'm triggered now. Whereas before, when you were moving so fast, you didn't have time to notice. You just thought that was just you. You didn't notice when you made the switch. That was one of the earliest things that happened to me in my mindfulness journey, when I really started to take time to meditate and pray. And then I started to like see myself. And I started to be like, okay, why am I doing this? What is the reason? The reason is always self-protection. And you've developed these coping techniques from birth because you had to use them with the people closest to you. So they become integrated into our personality. So sometimes we have aspects of our personality. We think that that's our us. We think that's our personality, but it's not. It's a coping mechanism. It's a survival tactic. So we want to slow down. That's the first thing. That's really the first and only thing you really have to do is just slow down and watch yourself. And then you get to start to see the difference between your reality and other people's reality, and you don't have to be as enmeshed with them, because you don't need to control their viewpoint of you, because you have your own viewpoint of yourself. So if they have a negative viewpoint of you, that's fine, because you have a positive viewpoint of you. And it's hard to do. It's hard to get if you have a negative viewpoint of yourself, it's hard to take it and turn it positive. But it can be done, and it's worth it 100%. I was just like reflecting recently is that like, because for me in my own life, the way that these things have affected me, jealousy, the evil eye, the mother wound, they made me not want to be myself. Because I've always been that person that is just so dope. Like, I've just always been so dope. I've just been so talented at art and at writing my whole life. I've always like loved having friends and gathering people together. I've loved like putting outfits together and looking cute. Like, I've loved decorating. Like, I've literally always been a little princess, and I still am. And so, who hates that? People that aren't cute, people that don't think they're cute, people that don't have shit, or they don't think that they can have shit. Like, it's like, it don't even matter. Somebody could be better off than you, doing better than you, have more materials than you, have more love like around them than it seems like you have, and still be jealous of you, because it's a selfish emotion. So it's not really about you actually, and like what is actually real. It's about them feeling inferior and them feeling at a deficit. And then they use that jealousy as a addiction and as a fuel for that. They already felt that way before you entered the picture, but they used you as an opportunity to express it. Now they have a reason to be jealous. Now they have a reason to feel bad about themselves. But they already felt bad about themselves. They just didn't have a reason before, or they didn't know what the reason was. I wanted my mom to do the salt ritual on one of my friends, and my mom didn't, and told me to not even tell her, because she didn't want people to think she was doing sahur. Yeah, because it's very stigmatized in our culture. Like, so yes, I have it in my mom too, right on my upper lip. I love it. Your beauty mark. She's like, whoa, was bullied for my beauty mark beside my mouth. Oops, catching up. Yeah, wow, that's crazy. Yeah. Or if you have one like right here, or like on your shoulder or something, like, or like on your chest. So I think that if you have a beauty mark on your mouth, it's blessing your words. It's blessing your words. So you have a gift of speaking, and nobody can shut you down. Nobody can take fault with what you say. Hey babes, hey. Thank you so much for this video. I'm sharing with a few people and liking on my other accounts. Thank you, boo. I'm so excited for Root Lock. Me too. Oh my god, it's gonna be so freaking epic. I was running the numbers, you guys. Like, I want to have 200 people in Root Lock this year. I am open to teaching 200 people in Root Lock. Can you imagine what will happen on Earth if 200 people go through this training? It's a spiritual warrior training for spiritual warriors who are breaking generational curses of sexual violence. Can you imagine what will happen on Earth if 200 people get that training? Forget about it. It's done. This global caste system of slavery and poverty is done. And I'm not even being egotistical. My magic works. And it's not just my magic, it's ours. One of the things that's scary about having a big audience and a big constituency is that it's just one of me and many of you, with many demons that could potentially want to attack me, that are attached to you, that don't want to let you go. And they could even be in the form of your partner or your mom or whoever. Like, there are demons attached to you that don't want to let you go, but that they can't stay when you decide to free yourself from them and you decide to pursue training and support that will enable you to do so. So that's scary. But the exciting part is that there's more support, there's more of us, we're a massive movement. And this was one of the things that came through a couple of years ago in one of the group energy healing sessions I did, which was that as a mass movement, like as a mass political movement, I don't know if political is the right word, but a mass social movement, that's it. A mass social movement. As a mass social movement, a decentralized social movement with so many people equipped with these skills to reclaim their freedom and autonomy and to free their bloodline and to increase the personal and collective power of their lineage and all people in their lineage, we move through the world in a way that we're like a wave. We're like a wave of water. And so there's so many of us. This political moment is happening. We're on the verge of complete restructuring globally. And it's happening because it's at our demands. So better than protesting or complaining or trying to change things, it's just like sovereignly embracing our own sovereignty, embracing our own ability to make choices for ourselves and our own autonomy. And a really, really easy way to get that started is to break this little mother wound of jealousy and the evil eye. And a way to do it is to claim yourself, claim your sovereignty, do what you want to do, regardless of how your mom feels about it. If you have to take time away from your family and away from your mom and you're able to do so in order to break that and get out of that enmeshment, do so. I recommend it. And I think the sooner you do it, the better, because then you have more time with her later. Because one of my biggest regrets is spending so much time trying to please my mom when she would never be able to be pleased with what I was or what I was doing, because she wasn't there with herself and she never had that chance. Now that I have completely stopped caring about that or wanting that or needing her approval or needing her to be pleased with me, and I'm 1000% okay with meeting her as an equal and even parenting her, now I can step into my power. I can step into my dominion. I can step into my priestess lineage. I can step into my queendom. I can step into my empress empire. I can be the empress. I can be the ruler of my own domain. I can be the mother, not the maiden. It's a major consciousness shift in perspective. And it allows for my family to flourish, both the family that I come from and the family that comes from me. Because you have to be a grown-up to do big girl things. Yes. On that note, we'll be wrapping up. I want to make a comment about this too. For real, I love Barbie, dress up, colors, love, and repressed it all for so long. Can I tell you guys, I was actually really bitter and pissed off about all the Barbie love when the Barbie movie came out. When I am actually a girly girl, and I actually do like girly things, and I actually do live my life like very childlike in a lot of ways. And I've been so punished for it. That should piss me off. Okay, I'm not okay now. That was just like I just had to say that. Did anybody else feel like that? Like, and the same with Sinead O'Connor passing. I'm like, oh wow, you guys are so up her butt now that she's dead. Where are you actually supporting truth-telling, outspoken women right now? Are you? Because if you're not, then just get off Sinead O'Connor's dick right now. And that's That's that on that. That felt good. I've been trying to say. I've been wanting to say that. I've been wanting to say that. That felt good to say. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in, you guys. I'll be back next Friday. I'm going to be uploading videos throughout the week, too. This is our regular live stream, Friday night goddess talks. It's 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, so it's not quite Friday night, depending on what time zone you're in. But yes, love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time. Peace.